This week on the Pete the Planner Show, we take your money questions. That's right, that's what we do. We just answer them. And the answer is never buy something from me. But you're welcome to. This week I got 3 questions. We got the biggest waste of money of the week. The show is very simple. You email me, askpete@petetheplanner.com. Be one of the hundreds and hundreds, thousands of people who email me on a regular basis, and I'll do my best to answer your question. Don't get passive aggressive, though, if I don't answer your question. I'm sorry. I'm just doing the best I can. Askpete@petetheplanner.com. They will either appear here on this very show, and you can listen to them in your ears, or I'll write about them in my USA Today column, and you will be newspaper famous. Literally read by tens of people. All right, so Nicole, hello, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you. Hi.
I feel like it's been a while.
It has been a while.
I don't know if it has or not, but
I don't know. It feels like it.
we're going to get started.
No one knows.
This email is from a gentleman. He told me not to use his name, so we're going to make up a name. We're going to call him Throgmartin.
Ooh.
Throgmartin.
Throgmartin.
Dear Pete, I've not always made the greatest financial decisions in the world. Student loans for graduate schools, big mistake. But our cars are paid off. Our credit card debt is retired every month. And we contribute to our kids' 529 college savings plan. I'm also contributing 10%, counting my employer match, toward retirement. Friends chide me over saving for retirement, as you won't be able to use that money, you'll be too old, and live for now. I know you've probably plowed this ground before, but how do I respond to that type of thinking? All I can ever think of is, I do not want to have to work in retirement. Joshua. The guy's not, it's Throgmartin. Throgmartin. But in the, Nicole, I mean, we're talking classic peer pressure here.
Right. Like, well, one, I got a little tied up in some of the words that he decided to use. But
I liked his writing. I like chide.
yes, that was what it was. I was going to say, I knew I was going to forget it, but
Chide, and I like plowed this ground before.
plowed, yes.
I mean, that's good writing, to be honest.
It's colorful.
Sometimes when people email me, and if you're listening right now and you're thinking, I'm going to email him and I don't want him to judge my writing, I do. I absolutely do.
We're not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. All right, so this is classic peer pressure. And I'll just say this. And I wrote about this in USA Today this week. Can I tell you a story, Nicole?
Please.
I want you to take yourself back to 1989 for a second. What were you doing in 1989?
My parents just got married.
Were you at the wedding?
No.
Had you been an idea?
Probably not.
Okay, well, I was going, it was the fall of 1989 is when I was going into 6th grade, okay?
All right.
My dad walked into my bedroom, and the night before classes start, this is a true story.
Yeah.
I was listening to Milli Vanilli on my boombox.
As one does.
Yeah. Blame It on the Rain. Yeah. And I hit pause, and he said, good luck tomorrow, and just remember, doing what's right isn't always popular, and doing what's popular isn't always right. Wow. Do you realize, Nicole, that still applies, especially in this scenario?
Yes.
Our email, Throgmartin, the young man here, or sounds like a little older man, he's doing the right thing, but it's just not a popular thing. It is not popular to be financially stable in our country based on people's current state of affairs. It's just not popular. Here's the craziest thing about this. You can't think back to the 1960s, nor can I. I wasn't alive either. But smoking was incredibly popular. I read one statistic here recently that I think upwards of 47% of people smoked in the 1960s. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. The crazy thing today, it's like 20% now, which still seems like a lot.
Yeah, that does.
All right. So smoking was very popular. And then people found out it was bad for you, and it has gotten less popular. Okay?
It has. You're right.
In the 1960s, people were relatively financially stable. All right?
Yes.
Over time, people have chosen, now there are people via circumstance and wage gap and all those things, but a lot of people have chosen the path to become unstable, instable, I don't know which one to use, over time. So it is also bad. So smoking and financial decision making are actually have this like inverse relationship now. They're both bad if your choice is to have a bad financial stability situation, but they're going the other way. It is popular now to do dumb stuff. And what bothers me about this, 2 things. Number one, what do people think is going to happen when they get older? Do they think this all works out without doing the work.
That's what the problem is that we're all so conditioned to be like, oh, it's always ends up fine. We're going to be fine. Like, we'll figure it out. And it's like, no, you guys, not this time.
You know, people like to blow trouble to millennials and whatnot
Yes.
and call them the participation trophy generation. But the only intelligent argument there is, who is giving them the participation trophies? It's
Precisely.
it's not the millennials' idea. It's not like you're going to play soccer for the first time. You're 5 years old, and on the at the end last game, you pull the assistant coach to the side and like, could we have a 12? Because you don't even know.
No.
The adults had already purchased the trophies for you. It was their decision. Nicole, I'm actually going to draw a parallel here between participation trophies and the people who give them, and this same problem that's happening in financial preparedness. Because I think people just don't want to put in the work, and they just assume it's going to work out. They're going to assume they're going to get some sort of, thanks for coming, it will all be fine. And it just isn't the case.
And it's like one of those, I have a mentality of, I will always make sure that things work out for myself, but I do so because I take the steps to make sure that everything does turn out for myself. And there's a difference.
I think I've shared this before. I have an interesting sort of work reality, like a sort of an interesting career. Like I do all right financially. I don't do amazing. I mean, I do good. I'm not complaining. Things are great, right? But it's not like I'm a bazillionaire, right?
Yeah.
I do fine.
No, we did not hit the jackpot.
No, we didn't. I did not hit the jackpot. But here's the thing with me, like, whether I ever get to the point where I'm number one on the New York Times bestseller list and I have a national TV, whether that happens or not, the way my finances work, it will all be fine in the end because I'm putting in the work.
Yes.
Like, I'm saving the money. So I think someday I will get to a point where there is a sort of a bigger thing around me.
Yes.
That's the plan, right? And it's not because I just want to be famous. That's the last thing I want to be. It's because I want to impact that many people. And I think what comes along with that is sometimes the rewards of that. But my own personal financial plan is not dependent on that.
No.
Like I always say to my wife, like, whether this works out or not, it's going to work out because we've put in the work.
Right.
And I think when I look at situations like this, and Throgmartin, who emailed us, I think you have to realize that if you got together 100 financial experts in a room and you ask those 100 people, do they think that Throgmartin's strategy of saving for the future is smart, or do they think the live in the now people are smart? Who would they side with? 100 out of 100 would side with Throgmartin, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And I also find the live in the now, pardon me, I've had a cough button. Did we get the cough button ordered?
Nope, still on back order.
The live in the now movement drives me crazy because they're only proven right if they die early, and then they're not even around to say, I told you so, right? Like, oh, you just never know. It's like, okay, well, all right, you died early, but then you can't even say, see, because you're dead. It's just short-sighted. It drives me nuts. And
it's irresponsible.
And I know I'm whining about this, and I'm just being gripey and cranky over it, but dude,
there's good reason for that.
I just don't understand how so many smart people, and here, you know what I say every time I say not to get political, what do I generally do?
We usually get a little political.
It's on both sides of the aisles that people have this sentiment. So generally on the right, if you will, people are all about personal responsibility. And do you know the number of people who align themselves with that particular party that are in this exact same situation and they're not taking personal responsibility? It drives me bonkers.
Bonkers.
On both sides. All right, I'm done griping. Let's take a break. Coming back after the break, Social Security question. A grandparent raising grandchildren. The parents aren't in the picture. You can claim, the kids can get paid via Social Security now. Is it the right thing to do for this grandma? We'll talk about that next on the Pete the Planner Show. I'm Pete the Planner, and this is my show.